Hi everyone, it's Helen here, your unit coordinator for Understanding Language and Literacy. This is our Flip Collaborate session for Assignment 1B, Learning Activity Plan and Oral Presentation. So we're going to have a look at the nitty-gritty in regards to the information for the activity plan and oral presentation. So you can see there that there is a 400 word limit plus or minus 10% and a 5-minute limit plus or minus 1 minute for your oral presentation. So it's due on Monday the 9th of April, which is week 5, which is approaching very quickly at 5 p.m. Just take a note that it is Australian Eastern Standard Time there. Okay, and the whole weighting is 30%. So make sure you've read all the information in the Assignment 1B thread on the discussion board, and then you can be also putting up questions in the thread, in the question and answer thread on your discussion boards as well. So here's our overview. So basically, like I had said before, you're going to produce a learning activity plan and oral presentation recording to demonstrate your understanding of the early years learning framework, components and functions of language and developmental milestones. So you're going to be looking at the framework, the early years learning framework and concepts that you have learned in weeks 1 to 3 of this unit. So that's your real focus there that you need to be having a look at in regards to this assignment. So the assignment details. So if we have a look at our learning activity plan firstly, it's 400 words, so that means that you need to be quite succinct in what you are writing, and you must use that learning activity plan template. That's why I put those big red arrows there. Please don't go and make one up for yourself. You're going to actually lose marks if you do that. Use the activity plan template. That's why it's there. That's why it's provided. So please do that. And as you go through that learning plan template, you will see all the different areas that you will need to fill in, and they go through them there. And there's a bit of a word limit there that you can be a bit of a guide that would help you as well in the different sections. So just make sure that you are following that as you move through, because the word limit is quite tight there. Then you have your oral presentation. So your oral presentation is where you are talking about your learning activity plan and you're bulking it out a bit. So you're talking about what you are doing for your activity and sort of the outcomes that you will find in your as part of teaching your activity. Remember, we want to see citations. We want to see citations in your learning activity plan, and we also want to hear oral citations as well. So keep an eye on your discussion boards, because I know the ELAs are going to post some information in regards to that very shortly. Now, remember that your oral presentation has to be produced using SoundCloud. And again, there's my big red arrow just to let you know that that's the expectation. You cannot use any other platform. You need to use SoundCloud. So it's an online system and it's pretty easy to work, but I would be recommending that you get onto that now and get your account set up. And if you do have issues, please contact the student advisors. They are the best people to talk to in regards to any issues that you may have with your SoundCloud. But hopefully it's a fairly quick and easy setup and you can get started and onto your assignment as quick as you can. I would recommend that you have a bit of a practice and a bit of a run through your assignment before publishing your first one. And we're looking for those oral presentation skills as well. So we're not just listening for you reading what you've written. We're looking for the tone of your voice and the way you're presenting as well. So there are some technical guides on the student portal, so make sure you have a look at those guides there. The first one is signing up to SoundCloud, how to record audio on your computer or device, and how to share your audio, okay? And like I had said before, please communicate any problems that you're having to your ELA as soon as possible so we can sort them out, and you can be contacting student advisors to help you as well. And we are really advising that you attend the live Collaborate session next week and also be engaging on the discussion boards as well. That's really important. And once you have completed and uploaded your SoundCloud, you need to paste the SoundCloud link into your learning activity plan template for submission. So we don't need that as a separate thing. We need it as your link onto your learning activity plan. And you will see there is a spot there on the learning activity plan for the URL link. So please make sure that you do that. And please also make sure that the SoundCloud is working and that you have followed those instructions so that the ELA is going to be able to listen to it and access it. Please be aware that if there is an issue, then your ELA will contact you. So please keep an eye on your emails over that time as well, because if there is an issue, we will be contacting you in order for you to get you to sort it out and fix it. So we really want you to do the best that you can. So I would be getting onto that really early. And there's also some extra resources in regards to referencing on the student portal, and there's also assignment support there that you can be looking at as well. And just make sure that you're following the guides as you go through so that you are accessing the correct documents there, which is the present you section. So make sure you're in that section on the student portal when you are looking and locating those extra resources. So when you're looking at the assignment, just make sure that you've read your lesson plan both out loud to yourself and check that it makes sense and it's going to be understood by your ELA. Make sure you use the rubric as a checklist to ensure that you've covered everything. So you should be ticking off so that you know what you have covered, and if there are any gaps there, that's really important. Make sure you proofread your work before submitting it. That's really important. Make sure that there's no grammatical errors or spelling errors. Make sure that you've really had a good going over in regards to that. Remember, because poor grammar and typos detract from the quality of your work, and it's really it can take away from a really good assignment. So we really want you to be on the ball in regards to that. And just make sure that you're acknowledging all your sources. So that's when I'm talking about citing. So you need to cite your references both orally and in your learning plan as well. And this includes your images as well, if you're going to use images. And we're not looking for Wikipedia as well. Now, just an important note, if you have done this unit before, you are not allowed to self-plagiarize. So that means that the work that you have done in the past, it cannot be used for this assignment. So that's called self-plagiarism, and Swinburne Online are really cutting back on that. So we're looking for new things. We're not looking for you to be self-plagiarizing, because that will come up when we're marking that. So please be aware of that if you are repeating this unit. So look at all the resources that your ELA has provided on the discussion board, and I know this week and next there'll be a lot more information being released. We've given you a little bit of time just to get into the readings and getting familiar with Canvas as well. We didn't want to overwhelm you. And remember that the readings directly relate to the assessment. If you follow these, you really can't go wrong. And weeks 1 to 3 directly relate to this assessment. And your e-text is a valuable resource, and we would be looking to make sure that you are using your e-text. That would be one of your first references that you would be citing in your learning plan and orally. So when you're looking at referencing, you need to make sure that you are following APA referencing style. Oral citations need to also be used, so make sure you're doing that, and I've talked about that throughout. Make sure your spelling, grammar and expression is all to the best that it can be. Bullet points are allowed, headings are allowed, images are allowed. But you need to also make sure that professional language is used and it's presented as an academic piece of work. So remember that you are providing a reference list, not a bibliography, and the reference list needs to be included in the reference section of your learning plan, which you will see when you go into that template. And there's some more information on the student portal in regards to formatting as well. Now, when you're looking at a reference list, you're only citing the references that you have used in your learning plan or when you have orally cited them when you're doing your oral presentation. We're not looking for every single single book or text that you have looked at and not included it in your reference page or in your learning plan. We're just looking for those ones that you have cited in your learning plan or in your oral presentation. So word count, and we often get asked about this. What's included in the word count? Because it is a very tight word count, so you are going to have to be very succinct. So you're writing in your lesson plan, so anything that you type into that template, that's included in the word count. And any citations that you are using in your learning plan, that includes citations for images, they are also included in your word count. What's not included? So any writing that's already there in the template is not included in the word count. And your reference list is also not included in the word count. So that's really important to note as well. So I just wanted to touch on plagiarism. I've talked a little bit about self-plagiarism before. Basically, plagiarism is when you are using information, other people's information, and not acknowledging it. So you're not citing it, you're copying, pasting it. You need to make it really clear that you are using someone else's work. This is even the case when you are paraphrasing something. And we are looking for paraphrasing as well. So make sure that you are doing that as well. Remember that you are first years, a lot of you as well. So we're not expecting you to have your APA referencing spot on, but we are expecting you to have an attempt. So you've had a go. You may have not got it 100% correct, but you have put something in there. You put your author and you put your year in, and you are giving it a go. And the same with your reference list. We will be providing a lot of resources in regards to this, but just to be aware that you shouldn't be copying and pasting anything straight into your learning plan and not acknowledging it. When you see the examples provided as well in the live Collab session, we are not looking for you to be copying any of that information as well. That's just an example for you to be following and having a look at to give you an idea. So make sure that you are doing your own work. That's really important, and and if you are using other people's information, that you are citing this as well. So here's our rubric. The rubric is really important. We need to be making sure that we're paying attention to it, we're reading it, and we're marking off against the criteria. So you're told where your marks are, and your grades should not come as a shock. And make sure you are assessing your drafts against your rubric. And if you have a look over to the other side here, you'll see those building blocks. So we're looking at all those things from a pass level, and we can tick those off, and then we can move up to the next level, which is our credit. And as we move up those building blocks, we are looking for more information and more detail as you progress up those building blocks in regards to the grade that you will get for your assignment 1B. And here is your criteria. So this is really important. This is what I was talking about in regards to the to making sure that you're ticking off and following it. So they need to make sure that you have for a past descriptor done all of those things. So you need to have done all of those things so that we can be ticking them off and saying, fantastic, you've got a pass there. You've done all of those things we've ticked off. We can see that you've made attempts to align with the ELF, you've tried to have an attempt at citing, and we move through them and we pretty much tick those off. Then once we've done that, we move to the credit description and we have a look and we think, oh, okay, fantastic. We can see that you've accessed some additional literature. So we're going to tick that one off. Oh, yes, you've got the word count. And we keep ticking off as we go through to get your grade. And as you can see, as we get up into those distinction and also into the high distinction levels, there is a lot more information that we're expecting and a lot more professionalism as well. So I would be aiming as high as I can, particularly in regards to your learning plan. Give it the best shot that you can and just ticking off at that rubric to make sure that you are covering everything that you need to. Now for your oral presentation, you're going to be marked off a different rubric. So this is our rubric here. It's got two criterion. So you're going to be making sure that you've got a clear introduction to the presentation and the concepts that you have selected are accurately described. And we're going to give you a bit of a, well, we're going to be giving you a point system. So you can see there how you'll be allocated your points. So from major improvement needed right up to often meets expectation. So you can gain a maximum of 4 points there just for having a really clear introduction, which is fantastic. And then we keep going on. And these are the other things that we are looking for in that criterion. And again, we'll be marking up from 1 to 4. And then we look at our criterion 2, which is our communication skills. And as a teacher, these are so important. So we need to make sure that your voice is clear and audible. You're not mumbling. We can hear what you're saying. You've got an energetic tone and your tone is varied and your language is appropriate and your presentation is really clear. Because remember, your career is going to be a teacher and you're going to need to make sure that you can communicate clearly with your students and with your peers. So we are looking at these sort of skills as a basis as you move through the course. So just remember that and keep an eye on that as well. Here's your submission details. So your assignment is going to be submitted via Turnitin, and you'll find the relevant submission point below. So please note there is a 24-hour turnaround for an originality report to be generated. So if you're going to be having a look at your originality, make sure you're giving 24 hours there. And don't forget that you have access to Studiosity. Now, in regards to Studiosity, they can give you feedback on your draft of your assignment in regards to spelling and grammar for your learning plans, but they can't give you feedback in regards to content. So just be aware of that. And they won't be able to give you feedback on your oral presentation either. So it's just pretty much your writing that they can give you some feedback on, and it's going to be generalized feedback as well. So it's not content related feedback. Your ELAs are not going to be reading drafts, so please be aware of that and please don't ask them to do that. It's just not in their job description and they don't have enough hours to be able to do that. If you do need an extension, and we do understand that things happen, please email your ELA as soon as you can. It's really important that you do that and keep in communication with them. If you need more than 48 hours, then you need to be filling out that extension request form on the student portal. Just be aware of your extension requests. I really would not be wanting to give you more than sort of 7 days extensions, just because you're going to be putting yourself so far behind already just with the first assignment. Please also be aware that part of SOL's policy is that extensions aren't normally granted for holidays. So if you are undertaking a holiday, the expectation is still that you will undertake your assignments. So that's something to keep in mind. If you have a medical issue or a family issue or an emergency comes up, then we will definitely be looking at that and we will certainly be giving you the time that you need. But just be aware that any extension more than 48 hours is putting you behind in your work, and we really want you to move forward and to keep on track as much as you can. So who can help you? So there we've got our help hub there. So you've got your student advisors, and they are just so fantastic with the nitty-gritty of things. They help with SoundCloud, they help with e-text issues, they can help with so many things. You've also got your student coaches there that are going to help with time management, motivation, goal setting, self-care. So there's a lot there that they can help with. And your ELAs are going to help you with task and the content. They're going to help you with any assignment questions that you might have, any learning materials and activities that you would like feedback on, then they will be helping you with that. And I've also spoken before about Studiosity there. So make sure that you utilise that, particularly as a first year. It's really important that you get on track nice and early in regards to your assignments. Now, be aware that there are penalties for late assignments and you can see them there. That's why it's so imperative that you keep in contact with your ELA, or if something has happened, that you fill out that extension request in the student portal, because there are penalties. And look, after 5 days, there is the possibility that you can receive 0 marks. So please be aware that that. So we're almost going to be at our live collab. We are at our live collab slide. So I'm at the end of my talking. My voice is almost about to go. So in the live collaborate sessions next week, we're going to give you an overview of assignment 1A, which is the quiz. We're going to discuss some assignment exemplars. We're going to brainstorm some ideas and answer any questions you may have. It's going to be really interactive, and the slides will be up now on your boards. So have a look at them. And we really look forward to having you there, and come with questions, come to interact, come to learn off each other. That's really what a live collaborate session is about. I appreciate all that you have been doing. It's been fantastic to have a look around the boards and see so much interaction, and so many students who have really jumped in there and given it a go. And I know that you're going to do fantastic on these next 2 assignments, assignment 1A, your quiz, and also assignment 1B. I wish you all the best, and I will see you in the live collab sessions. Take care. Bye for now.